Hello, welcome back Magic fans. I've got a really cool video to get into today, so let's get straight into it. I'm going to be showing you some basic sleight of hands, kind of like false cuts, little moves you can incorporate into your magic routines. If you're new around here, give us a thumbs up and also subscribe if you haven't done already. I'm going to get straight into the trick. Well, I say trick, it's a few little things here. The first one a lot of people ask me is, do you know any types of cuts? Because everybody, when they see routines and people just do that to cut, it looks a bit boring or kind of basic, and they say, oh, could you teach me something that makes me look fancy but it's not too difficult to learn? So this is the thing I normally teach them. It's called the Charlier cut, otherwise known as the one-handed cut, and it looks something like this. You have your deck of cards and then you cut them using one hand like that. It looks neat, and if done properly, it takes a bit of practice. It looks like you really know what you're doing with the cards like that. And it's really quite simple to learn. You should be able to learn this in about 15-20 minutes. And the second thing I'm going to show you is what's called a swing cut, where you have the deck in your hands like this. You lift some off and place it into that hand, then place the rest of them on top. Again, that's another cut. Again, it looks a bit fancy where you take some off and then place them on the top. You can also incorporate a swing cut into like a rotating one, so like that. Then you can bring it round like that, then drop the pack down like that. So they're three basic cuts. And also the last thing I'm going to show you is, some people say, oh, I've got this routine where I've got my deck stacked and I want to let the spectator think that it's all been randomized. Do you know any kind of fake cuts or anything like that? And this is one of the ones I'm going to teach you today. The first one, it looks like this. You bring some out like that, then place it down like that. It looks like you've just cut the cards in half. Just one more time, so you just do that, bring it down, then put that back on top like that. It looks like it's a full cut, when actually all you're doing is taking some from the middle, placing it down, and then placing the top back on. So I'm going to now break it down and show you how to do these things. So the first thing we saw was the Charlier cut, or the one-handed cut. For this, I'm going to kind of need a bit more of an exposed view, so I'm going to bring us up like this so you can see what's going on. So this is the position you want to hold your cards in, with your thumb in the centre, as if you're holding it in mechanic's grip. Mechanic's grip is that, where you can be like, or if you're left-handed, it'll be like that. That's mechanic's grip. For this, it's like mechanic's grip, but you've got your four fingers on the back edges of the cards like that. You've got your thumb in the middle. And once you've got this position, just practice holding it like this, because this is going to be important. You want to make sure you've got enough grip that the cards don't do that. So once you're happy with how your fingers are placed, what you do is you release some tension with your thumb to then release a pack like that. So you're in that position. You're in the Pac-Man position, as it's sometimes referred to by magicians. So again, just practice. If you're new to magic, just practice from here, going into the Pac-Man like that. So that's stage one. So once you're happy with that, what you do then is you bring your first finger to the corner, as you see here. And what you're doing is pushing the deck up like that, so it looks like a teepee. So in normal time, it will look, once you got to that position, you pushed it all the way as far as it can go. That's the hardest part of this cut, because the next thing you want to do is, there's a few different, if you watch different magicians, they have different ways of performing the one-handed cut. This is my preferred method. Is see here how my first finger here is supporting the cards into this TP position here. In order to get this packet here to fall into my hand to complete the cut, what I do is a combination of releasing a bit of pressure on my middle and ring finger, at the same time push a little bit more so it curls underneath, and the deck's at the top half of the deck is actually sitting on my curl first finger there. Then all you do is use your thumb to push the packet on top like that, and that's the full move. So remember, practice getting from this position here into the Pac-Man position. Use your first finger to push the cards up like that, and then complete the cut like that. And at speed, it will look really fancy. Just practice going through them steps again. until you get it. You will have, when you're first learning, you will, once you've got to here, sometimes you'll drop too many and you won't be able to push like that. Sometimes that won't be able to happen, so just practice to begin with, not maybe dropping less than half, about a quarter, because once you get to this position, sometimes you'll kind of collapse like that into it, and that's fine. It's just the hardest thing is using your first finger to push the deck like that. It's harder in slow motion, but that's what it would look like. So that's the only tricky bit with that. So the second thing I showed you was another cut, which is, this is the swing cut. For this one, it basically looks, the method is what it looks like. You hold your deck here with your thumb resting against the back here. Your 4 fingers, you don't even have to have 4 fingers or just 3, so you're comfortable, so you're in a position like that. What you do, hang on, I'll have to bring you around this way for the exposed view, is you're going to use your first finger. This is where you need to strengthen your fingers. If you want to get into magic, it's something all magicians will tell you, no matter at whatever level they are. They'll say you have to condition your fingers, you have to strengthen your fingers. Get your fingers to learn some muscle memory on how to handle cards. Because this, to me, is easy to be able to do, to push cards out like that. I recently tried to show this to someone who'd never been holding a deck of cards in a magic way before, and they found it very difficult to even pick up cards like that. And that's what I remembered when I first started. You have to really strengthen your fingers. So that's what it looks like. You pull up with your first finger into that position. You then swing it across to the left with your other hand, waiting to grab them, then you just place them on top, and that is a swing cut. Because you've taken a portion of the deck, swung it out into the other hand and dropped down. For the other version, which I like to do, is you do that. So once you've come here, you then separate some more, but this time push down with your middle or ring finger, whichever's preferable to you. Rotate your hand this way, and using the thumb of the hand you've just taken the first section of the cards, is rotate like that. So pull it up like that onto the deck and place it on top like that. So at speed, remember, all you're doing is a normal swing cut. So from here, you've swung to the left like that. You've then opened up like this, rotated, and then brought the deck onto like that, then place it down. It looks a bit more fancy. So again, just practice with that. The last one I showed you was kind of a version of a pharo shuffle or a pharo cut. What I was doing was, from here, I took some from the deck, placed it over, then placed the original deck back down. Most people will not actually realise that the top pile's going back on. So if you see this at speed, I'm just going to cut the cards quickly. Looks like there's nothing shady going on, but you said this is a really good beginner's false cut, because all you're doing is taking cards from the middle or bottom section like this, taking them out, and this is the deceptive part. If you just place them down, if you just place this bit down and that and place that on top, people say you know, they'll get onto you. This is the bit where people won't actually realise that it isn't a false cut. You've done this. You then place that pack over it to make it look like it's come from the top, and then place that down. So at speed, it looks like this. You've just gone like, okay, there we go. Just cut the cards. And this is something I learned about 10 years ago. If any people are new to magic, and you need to check out Scam School. It's now called Scam Nation. I think they've been uploading videos for over 10 years, and that's where I learned this cut from. So if you're interested, check them out if you haven't done already. Brian Brushwood, who's the one who's involved in the videos, he does a very good routine on false cuts like this, and that's where I learned that from all those years ago. So yeah, that was the video for today, guys. I could show you a few applications on how to use these, but I think for this video, I really wanted to do a techniques video, because I know a few of my subscribers are completely new to magic, which is brilliant. That's what this channel is about, bringing magic to newcomers who want to learn stuff. So I was thinking, I've been doing loads of mentalism and loads of card tricks, and people are wanting to go out and perform. People might ask them, you know, can you do anything else? And I thought, okay, if you can put these into your routines, or just as you're speaking to people, just doing some of these cuts, you'll really impress your family, friends, and it's not too easy to learn. By the time you finish this video, you might need to go through the steps a few times, particularly with the one-handed cut. That is the most technically difficult out of the three. I've really shown you today, but it looks really impressive. So yeah, if you've really enjoyed this, this is kind of a one-off video. If people like this video and find it useful, just let me know, and I can do some slightly more advanced techniques if you want to learn some more sleight of hand, like using pinky breaks and thumb breaks and other stuff like that. Just let me know. But I hope you've enjoyed it today. I've been Merlin Magic, you've been my lovely audience, and just stay safe and thanks for watching.